Awesome. And almost time for a live stream here. Haven't done a live stream in a long time. Not sure why. I figure I owe it to people to at least be somewhat active. Another video on my channel coming soon. But today, as people can see, even though it's a late night stream for me, 10:30 at night, figured I would just do a stream and leave the video up on my channel anyways, because I figured I would go ahead and talk about the topic at hand, of course, which is, of course, that Bay Area, aka Kami Ninja. So if you know Sub-Zero, Kami Ninja, whatever, whatever you would like to call him, has taken down his channel. Of course, he is one of these people that obviously pro-communist, speaks out against America quite a bit, but has admitted that he is an attorney here in America. And if you don't know, for people that don't know, he has obviously been doxxed. Someone not me or that I'm affiliated with has doxxed him and put his name, his work, his information out on the internet and more. There is more out there, and it really goes to show that these people, the Daniel Dumbrills, the Bay Areas, these people specifically, the Guelo 60s, they don't understand that. I don't want to say what goes around comes around, but what I do want to say is that the same people that they think work for them work in reverse. And that's always why, for us, for any time that we made a exposed video, we probably had a hell of a lot more information than we put out there. And a good 99.999% of the time, we've known those people, we've contacted those people and talked to them before we put the video out. In this case, Bay Area has closed his YouTube. I made contact with him over the phone and via Twitter. It looks like he's also protected his tweets. And of course, he has closed his Reddit account. I guess it just goes to show that his life in America is not so damn bad, right? To put things into retrospect, actually, Bay Area works in my home city, and I know the company he works for, the area that he works in. I've been there a billion times, and I think it's quite funny that someone like him could be pro-China, could be such a communist person, could say that to act as if America has done them unjustly, unfairly, when he's one of the most privileged people in our country. Think about it. This guy, Bay Area, shall we say Eric? We'll call him Eric. Well, his name is Eric, but I won't be giving away his last name on the stream or any of his personal information. That is not the intent of it's not the intent of the stream. I'm sure you'll probably see it around from sources not of me or, again, my team, my people, whatever you would like to call us. But again, it goes to show that it's a double-sided coin, that for what they think that they're doing to us, it's very dangerous. And he complains of death threats and things like that. And in the case of death threats, I want to say, welcome to the club, right? Because, I've been getting death threats for a long time, for a couple of years now. So for Bay Area to close his YouTube, his Reddit, my question is why? If you really believe the communism, if you really believe what you're saying, then I think it's important for you to actually stand behind what you're saying. If you really believe that America sucks and that communism is better, quit being an attorney in America. Quit mooching off of our system. Quit using our system, and go to China. Go live in China. Go, why don't you go to China and try being an attorney, and see how that works for you. It's just the it's funny how the most privileged people in America that have never been to China somehow think that America sucks and that China is amazing. And I offered Bay Area. I don't want to say that I support want to offer him support necessarily, but I'm definitely, shall we say, even though I shouldn't be, I feel that I shouldn't be. I feel kind of bad for him because I wouldn't want someone to dox me, to post my family's information on the internet. But I also understand that probably given the opportunity, his people, Bay Area, Daniel Dumbrell, Guelo 60, these people would gladly, easily do that to me, even though we have so much information about them and have never posted anything serious about them. I just don't understand the masquerading. Why dressing up like Mortal Kombat? Why all of that stuff is really necessary? Because in the end, like if you live a completely different life, but you tell people that you're pro-communism, that you're a communist, that's what you support and that's what you want, but you live and enjoy and clearly love and care for that life, the opposite life more, then you're just living a lie. It would be like me like putting on some kind of like Mao Zedong hat and being all like, yeah, guys, communism's great. I love communism. Communism's awesome. Yeah, like that's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like nobody is gonna fall for that. But this guy again lives in America, and it's just so sad. As much as I thought about doing an exposed video and plastering his information all over the internet, I decided not to, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I know that people, they will say, well, you're half of the shillbuster team. You're supposed to hammer the shills. You're supposed to expose these guys. I think that this is an opportunity to show that we're better than that, and that was never our intention from the beginning. As the shillbusters, our intention was to debunk, to mock, and to make fun of them, but it was never to get anyone doxxed, to get anyone hurt, to get anyone's job taken away from them, or to get anyone in any trouble with their family or friends or anything like that. We've never done any of that stuff. I mean, for fuck's sake, like for a lot of these people, like we lived in I could easily go there to his job and start shit and but we've never been about anything like that. Same thing in China, right? You talk about people like Daniel Dumbrell. We could have easily went there and started shit, and we never did anything like that. That was never the intention of anything. But now there are people, and here's the other thing. I think a lot of people don't understand the situation of a lot of us YouTubers here. It's very different when someone like me and Daniel Dumbrell go back and forth. That's us going back and forth. Or if me and Bay Area went back and forth, and me and Guelo went back and forth, that's one thing. But it's very different when people that are in the background, people that are not making videos, that are really spending a lot of time in an effort to dig up information and to hurt people financially, to hurt people even physically, right? Like here's something that I think a lot of people don't understand, especially the shills. Um, like the shills live in China, and no one is going to do anything to them. Here's the thing. We live in America. There are Chinese people here that are crazy communist people. And, again, crazy Chinese people here that are very communist, that believe in that. And in our country here in America, and especially states like California, more liberal states, they allow these people to live there. They allow these people to exercise their freedom of wanting, of political party, of wanting to speak out for themselves. If you're a communist person and you live in California, you could speak out about it. Sure, maybe maybe you're gonna stir up some trouble, but it's not illegal, right? Whereas if I was to go to China and speak out against communism, not only would I have trouble with people, but the government on top of it would have me arrested. I would be put in one of those retarded like metal chairs and be restrained. And I'd probably do like 3 months of detention. They'd make a mockery out of me. Bribes would have to be done, and then I'd have to like beg the president to have me freed or something, and then I would have to like apologize to everyone on Weibo, like the shit that like you would have to go through in the reverse for Bay Area is it's comical at best. Like he's running and hiding and closing all of his social media, when in China you'd be thrown in jail, and here like your company gets mad, maybe, you're still an attorney, you could work for yourself, whatever. So it's just not fair. People don't understand that it works both ways. There's people out there that here in America, again, there's Chinese people here in America that if you lived in California or you live in certain areas, they could find you. They could try and hurt you. But the opposite doesn't happen in China. No one is I know people that are popular on YouTube that have had people come up to them in real life and try to fight with them and do things to them. It's very real, right? Because of the freedoms that we allow in America, but it doesn't exist in China, really. So let me read a few comments really quick, because I've been sitting here talking to a camera. If anybody wants to get in on the stream too in a bit, that's possible. I'll let some other people in if they want to talk about this topic. Again, I'm not going to, type his information on the internet and put his information on the internet. Let's see. So Dubas says exposed. Monolithic says finally addressing Bay Area. Yeah, I thought about not even saying anything. Because I was in direct contact with him, and I considered just leaving it be. But you can't hide. You can't hide behind some kind of mask or a goofy hat and tell people that you really believe what you mean, because that just proves the point. That really just proves the point. And I remember this video where Bay Area was like, the world is afraid. They are afraid. And I'm thinking, yeah, but like, dude, you're the one wearing the mask. Like, Henry Biglin says, guess pro-commie ninjas wasn't paying well enough. Right, exactly. That's the thing. Like he's an attorney. Keep in mind, this guy is an attorney in America. He makes, I don't know how much money he makes, but it's definitely way more than the average Chinese person makes. He makes more probably than the average American makes. So he does very well for himself. And then to act like the system in America is just, it's such a horrible system, even though it's given him vast amounts of wealth. I'm sure he's not homeless. I'm sure he does very well for himself financially. And then to act like, the horrible American system, is just hilarious to me. So, let's see. Dieter Ski gives me $10. Thank you very much. I haven't had a donation in so long on my channel because I haven't been making videos. I've been so unmotivated, but I was like, perhaps this is worth at least talking about, even if I don't do exposed. So sometimes there's collateral damage, and playing nice is not any advantage. That is very true. Playing nice is not an advantage. I agree. It's very funny because I have this channel where my entire theme is exposing people for the truth and being like, hey, your daddy's a weirdo, and all that crap. But truth be told, like, for those people that don't know, our circle, me and well, I don't need to tell you the circle, but the other people that I'm associated with, of course, are actually like the nicest people. They're all nice, they're not hateful, rude people at all, which is really strange. We just are tired of lies. We're tired of the lies of propaganda and people just not being honest about things about China and things, and that's just the way that it is. It's not to be rude or to be mean or to hurt people's feelings, even though that does happen, and it is kind of funny sometimes. It does happen, but that's never the intention. It's just to prove a point. China sentences Canadian Michael Spavor to 11 years in prison. Yeah, see, that's how it is in China. It's very one-sided. You can do very little and get in a lot of trouble in China as a foreigner, and here in America, like, you can do very little, and I mean, you can do something fairly large and regain your freedom. Actually, Haley says hi. This commie person says, why are you so fat? Well, you see, the way that it works is like when you eat or drink more calories than your body actually burns, this thing happens where you gain weight. So apparently I've consumed more calories than my body needs to function for so long that I've gained weight. See, I know, like, that in China, they don't educate you guys on a lot of things. So I'm going to assume that you probably didn't know that. You probably think Xi Jinping is amazing, though. So I just figured I would tell you that. Tal Douglas says, is it possible BayArea is in the process of pulling a stunt, kind of like the old temporary disappearing act Nathan Rich pulled a while ago? It is possible. Like I said, I talked to him in private. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. I would say that if anything, if he really believes what he says, he should come out. He should admit that he is such a commie and that he still lives a very privileged life here in America, and he should quit the bullshit, right? I think that's the only thing is if you really believe something and you come out and you tell the truth, people are going to be more respectful of that than if you just completely bullshit. They really will. Dubas, I really appreciate what you do. No, I appreciate people that come here and people that comment. I appreciate people that put in the effort to comment on the videos and to take the time to make the discussion, even though I recently have been so far distant of my small community here of like 5,000 people. I appreciate that people come and listen and talk with me, and that people actually act as if they're interested very much. Can you like shave your beard? The Wolverine look doesn't work for you, bro. I don't know. The vote is 1-1. There's another person on another video that was like, yeah, bro, I like the beard. Keep the beard. And I think beards, like, guys, we get the beard from men. We don't care about what women say about beards. Sorry, In fact, I think I might grow it until I'll keep it to the winter. That's what we'll do. We'll keep it. First time hearing of BayArea415. I think Jeff J. Brown is quite deceiving. I mean, he's good at it. That's the thing is all the shills per se are being deceitful. They're deceiving. They're people that have they're telling you that they believe one thing, but they really don't. They just don't. Anyone that has been to China, I'll be very honest about China straight away. Chinese people are just like everyone else. Most of them are great people, right? You have no problem. Chinese stuff, Chinese people can have fun, they whatever, right? The problem in China is, as you could imagine, it's the fucking government, man. They ruin everything over there. They make everything so difficult, so controlled, so impossible to do. And, I talk to people that have lived in China for 10, 15 years, and 10 years ago, China was amazing, right? And what China is now is a unfortunate crap storm of what it used to be, and it's just unfortunate because even when I first moved to China, you talk about some 7.5 years ago or whatever now, or 7.5 or 8, maybe it's 8 years, at this point. But whenever I first went there, like, China was awesome. It was like the capitalism was going. There was, the stock market was opening. There were so many like private sector things, even for foreigners. Like, even though, I talk shit about English teaching a lot of time, like English training centers, like, they were taking care of people. They were giving people a place to live. They were paying people money. And if you worked in like oil or finance or something and you went over to China, like, you were making great money. It's the capitalistic sense of China was really, really good then. And it's just reversed. It's taken a turn. It's a completely turned around. They've changed back, and they're going back to the old communist ways that are just unfortunate and unhelpful. And it's not going to help the world. It's not going to help with, whatever. So let's see. If deliberate lie and deceive and similar to get advantages and push an opinion, then deserve no empathy or care. I agree. Isn't it horrible? Like, it's a weakness, I think, in my sense, that I feel empathetic towards these people. I feel kind of bad for them that they don't well, I think they realize, but I feel bad for these people that they have to fake it. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm fat, whatever. I'm definitely not perfect. But I'm not fake, right? I'm not faking who I am or what I do or anything like that. Whereas if these people are living a complete lie to have this idea and make people believe that China is something that it's not, all because they believe that it's going to give them something that it's not. And in this sense, Bay Area is, the same way. Bay Area thought that he could push this communist anti-America rhetoric, and that, it would somehow be a hit, that it would somehow take off and make him super famous or something, and that he would become super profitable, just like the shills. The shills want you to believe that they just make tons and tons of money hand over fist, when really it's just the state-run media, sending them on these trips to like vegetable dance and shit. Like, as much as they would like for you to believe, they're not making a shit ton of money doing it, of course. But when you don't have basic morals, even when you lack that at the very foundation, you don't have much to compare to in that sense. Why did BayArea415 close down his YouTube? He was doxxed. Somebody posted his work, his full name, his phone number, and all of his university information and that stuff. Again, which I don't condone. Was not found by me, but was passed on to me. And it looks like I have donations that I have been ignoring. I feel like a complete a-hole that I didn't even see the donations. It's like tunnel vision, guys. Tunnel vision here. Maybe Bay Area is running for governor. Yeah, I highly doubt he's running for governor like the rest of California. Let's not. My gosh, let's hope not. I wonder if his identity will surface. His identity has surfaced. He is. I think it surfaced to a few people. I'm sure somebody will probably, I mean, somebody will probably want to take that shot and get the views, and I'm sure they'll put it out there. You know. Um, let's see. I am Chinese. If the full score is 100 points, I will give the Communist Party 80 points. It is not a perfect political party, but it is indisputable that the CCP has allowed China to rise again. I mean, how do you figure? Maybe the Chinese government has risen again. The Chinese government is very rich. It's the people that are poor. You know, that's the thing. In the Western world, Chinese people have this issue where they don't understand. And that is that we own lots of private things, you know, like here we have a house and you know, we have rental properties and, you know, I have 3 cars and a motorcycle. And, you know, that's just like fairly normal, you know, for an American. That's not bragging, right? Whenever a Chinese person wants to go somewhere, like you guys have to use public everything, public transportation. You know, you guys don't own anything. Most Chinese people live in some like crappy apartment that, and they have their cell phone. Like maybe they'll have a cell phone and a crappy apartment. Chinese people own very little stuff. You know, and the stuff that Chinese people do own, the people that have done well for themselves have done well because of capitalism. They haven't done well because of the Communist Party. They've done well because they did well themselves. They have a private business or something. It's not given to them by the Chinese government at all. But the Chinese government's the one that holds most of the money. So when you say, well, the Communist Party, they deserve 80 out of 100, it's not a perfect political party. Well, the Chinese government does nothing for the people. It keeps the people poor. Chinese people make the same wages that many people in Africa do. You don't have a lot of private possessions. If you want to go somewhere, you have to go get on a public train or a public bus with some like screaming, crying kid. I go get in my car. It's got air conditioner, a stereo eye control. It's got heated fucking seats, you know. I don't have to like smell some dude's farts, you know. I mean, it's like it just never ends. And not to mention like the Uyghur situation and the fact that they're taking away like private education in China now, and that everything is going to be controlled by the government. Like, if you're Chinese, like you seriously need to get out of the country and experience the world for a certain amount of time, especially since China now is going to be no longer giving passports to Chinese people for a while because of the COVID situation. They're literally forcing Chinese people to stay in the country and then be brainwashed. Think about that for a second, you know. You can't say that it's an 80 out of 100 when the people, you know, of the country are being oppressed so obviously. You know, like that's the situation. When people don't know that they're being oppressed, that's when the oppression is working the best. And that's how it is with Chinese people. Most Chinese people are very unaware what's happening to them. Dongshengdi says, actually, they can't move to China. There's no real immigration law to China, just another fake immigration law. You can only get a job in China and then get a resident permit. That is true. That is so true. It's like everything in China is like, as a foreigner, it's like, you know, it's like, it's very temporary, right? You actually don't have any rights. You don't have any freedoms. It's all give and take. They'll take it all. And yeah. Taldoga says, Dieterski, I'll see your $10 and raise you 5. Thank you guys so much for the donations. I know that some of you guys donate consistently, almost every live stream here and there, every month. It is greatly appreciated. I know like you guys don't get to see it, but all the money that I do get donated actually goes in a bank account. And then when I buy something for the channel, it does go back into the channel. I'm sorry, I don't lie about the money and fake buy children blankets and shit. I do spend the money back on the channel. Sorry, no kid blankets anytime soon. But But yeah, and I will try and be better about whatever about making videos. Dongsheng D says, I'm Chinese. I give CCP 30 points for ruining China and then the Western capitalism to rise and faithfully claim it was communism that made China succeed. That's true, right? It's like people are always like, Tsinghua University, and they talk about how great it is in China, but what they don't know is like America funded that shit, man. And you're talking about like a university that was that it's not state run in that sense, right? You're talking about it's just everything good about China is not communism. Like the communist part is the worst part of it all, It's the worst part about China. And anytime like any of us foreigners or any of us, I don't know how you would consider us, the shillbuster people crowd, anytime we say, well, we love China, they're like, oh, you're a racist. And it's like, no, it's not about race. It's about the political spectrum that China is that the communism doesn't work. It doesn't work in the world with the rest of the world. It doesn't work with capitalism. You look at in the Western world, you look at countries that are more capitalist and less capitalist and more socialist and less socialist, and they still manage to work together. You look at, say, America and the EU, right? They work together just fine. But then when you add in someone that's communist, it's like it just messes everything up. It doesn't work well with other systems. Communism never will. Communism always leads to dictatorship, and then look at the situation now in China. You've got pretty much a dictator in Xi Jinping who continues to take control away from other party members, and we're a step away from it. Essentially, in many ways, it already is a dictatorship. So. Shillbusters need somebody like me that doesn't like to bite. Alex from Xinjiang doesn't like me any. I see. Here's the thing. Like if people have any information or want us to talk about something, please send us a message on a video, send an email, message me on Facebook, or if you're a person that maybe if you are a Chinese person ever and you want to talk or whatever, don't ever assume that you're too small, that you're unimportant, and that your voice is not should not be heard, or whatever, that your topic should not be talked about. It's impossible for us to talk about every single topic. Some topics are worthless, but we try. We try to talk about things. So it just takes time. And Dieterski, thank you for the $20. But yeah, if anybody wants to see a video or have an idea or has information that they want to be talked about and put out, please do it. I remember when a Chinese professor stated Tibet was never ours, stating that marriage between a Tibetan king and Tang Dynasty princess was the state's contract. Well, I think the funny thing about like China has this thing where China only wants to go back in the past of history so far, and they only want to go back so far that it's beneficial. It's like they always want to say that like America, and the Western world, that we just colonized the world with the nasty Western colonizers. They took all the land. Well, look what was happening in China, right? Look at that situation. You're talking about the Mongols, how they had taken like Eastern Europe and shit, and almost all of China there was taken. And then all of a sudden, these Han people came along and fought them off, and now that's what they're doing. They're trying to they want Tibet, and they want Hong Kong and Macau and Taiwan, and they want all this shit, and they want pieces of Russia and more of Vietnam, and it's like they want to build an island out in the ocean that was never there to begin with, and this is our water, and it's like, dude, listen, like you guys come from like a little strip of land, like you can't claim your history as all of it factual and all of it absolute when your history is so tiny to begin with. It's just selective history in that case. So yeah, I'm in a country that have freedom of speech and internet. CCPC gets 0 points. 0 points. Keep the beard. Yes, I will. I will be keeping the beard just to spite the people that do not like it. Alex from Xinjiang's eyes are... No comment. No comment, Haley. No comment. For the Chinese university professor lost his Ivy League posting and has exiled to low-grade techno-part in the middle. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think that's the other thing is like you have all these shills and all these people that are like they don't understand that like all this reporting and stuff that they're doing is only allowed because they're being positive about China. As soon as you were being negative about China, it just doesn't matter. Like they're acting all communist and shit. Like they're sitting there with like their hat on and they're like, no, I say bad things about China all the time. I'm fair about China. Yeah, of course I'm fair about China. I don't ever I'm never just one-sided about China. I'm completely honest and fair about everything. It's like, dude, you're fucking bullshitting, You're so full of shit. Like people can see through it. It's many people attack the CCP based on their position rather than the truth. The same thing is interpreted differently based on different positions. I think many people attack the CCP because, the idea that the CCP wants to expand and to become more powerful, even though their people are treated so poorly, that's a scary thought. It's a very scary thought, and the idea that that could be expanding and is expanding is a scary thought. It's a very scary thought, Not that it'll happen. EU and America would never allow that to happen. But the only people that like communism are the Chinese people, and that's because they don't know that they're being screwed because, well, they live in a communist country, Genocide, invade. Yes. The CCP took over in the 50s, blah, 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 blah. The CPC isn't the worst, but the government of Taiwan has a much superior government. That's the thing is like, you go to Taiwan and it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like the people look the same. They speak the same language, but they're different. Artistically, they're different. Style, different. Musically, different. Like, they're just so caught up with the rest of the world morally. And again, that's not to say that Taiwan is perfect either. Nowhere is perfect. But, they're definitely way ahead of mainland China, So, let's see. Dieter Ski, $5. China has 26% of the world's suicides, with 70,000 to 200,000 kidnappings per year. Up to 200,000 kidnappings per year. Holy shit. That's the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that China is a very big place. And a lot of people that live in China have a very privileged life, especially foreigners. That's the main thing, is the foreigners, the white people. Most of them live in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen. They see the best of the world. And, some of them live in Chongqing and Wuhan and places like that. Those are the China on training wheels country, cities, basically. A lot of these small towns, you go around these small towns. If you get a car in China, you drive around, or you get you a little scooter and you go to some of these places, you realize very quickly, or if you take you a bus from one city to another and you just stare out the window, you realize very quickly that those beautiful cities are less than 1% of China, you know, and that the rest of the country, unfortunately, just happens to be a dump, you know, like it's very uncivilized in a lot of places. Whereas if there are still many places in America, even though they're rural and out in the countryside, are still very nice. Again, not everywhere in America is perfect either, of course, but there's a lot of it in China that you see. Like I remember just taking the high-speed train from Guangzhou to Shenzhen, and it's such a short ride, but halfway through there's like you go in and you see all these houses that are crumbling and just trash laying on the side, and you're like, miles of trash, and you think, I'm doing 150 mile an hour on this train. How can you see trash for 10 minutes straight? You know, it's like it's just insanely crappy dirty, and it's shit that you would expect to see in Africa, and it's really unfortunate because you know, Chinese people are very smart. Chinese people have a lot of opportunity now that they didn't have before, which they're apparently going to be losing, you know, with the communism continuing to revert back. So given the Shills Renton Boys' lack of qualifications and credentials, they are very well compensated. You know, Lenny Frost, you're exactly right about that. For as little as they know about China, they're extremely well compensated. I agree. You are right. I was wrong. I admit that. Let's see. Exactly. So that means that communism isn't that too different from capitalism in that only the elite have the power and money. Well, see, the difference in communism, capitalism is the sense of capitalism. You have an opportunity to become the elite, whereas in communism, the elite is very few select people. Capitalism, you can start your own business. You can do those types of things. You can become an owner. In communism, it's them. They're the ones that own everything. You know. You have found so much information to prove the CCP, but you did not ask the Chinese. We're already the second power in the world. I don't think China is the second power in the world at all. You know, I don't think people find China to be that powerful in a sense. You know, what does China really do very well? You guys lack freedom. You know, it's like the things that are really important to people. You know, I mean, maybe you guys did well in the Olympics. I guess if that, you know, you want to feel good about the Olympics, you did well on the Olympics. But how much influence, you know, from a cultural standpoint, does China really have on the rest of the world? Like, you know, people aren't speaking the language of Mandarin. Anytime that China wants to buy something outside of China, you guys have to actually transfer your renminbi into US dollar. So basically, anytime, you know, you guys trade, you do it with US dollar. Musically, artistically, China is like very far behind. People don't associate themselves with China in that way. I think that Chinese people are the only people that see China as number two. I mean, what do you consider China to be number two in? You know, I think that's maybe you can say, well, we've got beautiful buildings, but they're all controlled by CCP because, you know, all private industry is controlled by CCP in China. You know, you say, well, Chinese people are really smart. Well, I mean, that's true, but you know, they're also brainwashed. They're very book smart, but not very street smart. They're not aware of what's going on against them politically, you know. So when you know, you say, well, China's number two, perhaps in certain measurements, China is number two. Perhaps they're number one. But in the measurements that matter most to people, China doesn't even crack the top 25. You know, I don't care how much money you have. If you have no freedom, then Sorry, you know. Communism works in theory, but hard to play off in reality because absolute power corrupts every time. You know, that's true. Communism is like one of those things, great on paper, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work. You know, I think that that from a philosophical standpoint, that everyone is going to have free housing and stuff like that, and you know, that you're going to distribute food and education, and it's all going to be free, and you're going to give it all to the people. Like, I don't know. Sounds very loving and caring, but it never ends up that way. It always ends up in like some crazy dictatorship, you know. So I'm trying to scroll down here. Let's see. And let's see. I'm scrolling down. And although the possessions you have worked hard for, you still have an advantage due to being who you are. That's true, and that's the problem with China, is that the Chinese government doesn't give Chinese people the greatest opportunity that they deserve. You know, they don't give Chinese people an opportunity to be the best version of themselves that they can be. And when you're held back by your government, it's a terrible thing. Dieter Ski, and Chinese cannot live in provinces they weren't born in. CCP are spiffy, sociopathic cattle ranchers. Yeah, it's very unfortunate that the hukou system exists in China. Think about that, the hukou system, where you can't even move and buy a home in a province that you're not from, that you can't put your kids in school in a province that you're not from, just because you're not from there, you know. And the government wants to control where you live. See, that's another old school communist bullshit law. In America, again, I'm not saying America's perfect, but you live in California and you don't like it, you get in your car and you fucking move, right? You go to Texas, you know, you go to Florida, you go to New York or wherever, right? If you live in Beijing and you don't like it, not only can you not move because you're going to get a job and you have to stay there for like 5 years and you have to rent, you can't buy a house there. And if you have children, you can't put them in school. It's just you know what I mean? It's just so stupid. They don't allow the freedom of anything. They don't want you to move unless they move you, you know. They just want to move you. It's called Guanxi. I like when some people have learned like a few words in Chinese and like, oh, it's just Guanxi, you know. Like, you know, it only takes you so far, you know. It really does, though. Guanxi can only do so much for you. It really can. Like that's like the shills. I think that because they know state-run media people, that they wouldn't be thrown in the slammer. If any of them messed up, they would easily be disposed of insanely quickly, you know. It's really so funny how pro-CC people think China can be the next superpower. Exactly what brainwash looks like. Even if China's economy overtakes USA, it's not even per capita. Right, that's the thing. Like, again, I always say this to people. If America becomes number 5 or number 10, as long as our people continue to live a good life and be wealthy, then, you know, I don't care. And I realize that, you know, that there are people that have, you know, that are mentally disabled, perhaps in America, and they're homeless or whatever. And things do happen, right? There are people on drugs, whatever, right? But that's not the norm. That's not the common situation. But extreme poverty in China, to the point of people making the same wages of people in Africa, is the norm. That's common. That's the everyday pay for most people. People in the richest cities in China, the average pay is that of what people are making in Africa. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't care what you do. If in America you work for Papa John's, you work for Pizza Hut, and you deliver pizzas, you're going to make more than the average Chinese person does in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, or Guangzhou, the richest cities in China. Period. That's all there is to it, you know. And that's just the way that it is. When China has money, we will make amazing cannons and send those Anglo people to God and repay them for the colonization of China. Okay. Someone's a little brainwashed here. A little brainwashed. I think that their colonization of China. Yeah. Okay. Brainwashed. There have been so many times in history that if the Western world wanted to take over China, that could have been done. Nobody really wants to take over China. People just want to be left alone. No one strives to move to China. They go to Western countries for better lives. That's so true. Like just recently for people that were talking about the Cuba situation. And I know I've been going on for 50 minutes here talking with people in chat. I'm almost getting up to Jayo Nation level lengths of video here, but it's a live stream, so it's a little different. Damn it, it's not a recording. But it's so true. Like when the stuff was happening in Cuba, like they had so many people that were like, "We're gonna go to America. We're gonna make a boat." How many people are making a boat out of a fucking tire? They're trying to build a boat out of a fucking dresser drawer so that they can float across the ocean and make it to China. How many people are climbing fences to get into China? How many people are digging trenches under the ground and walking through deserts to get into China? It's not happening, folks. It ain't happening. Okay? People don't want to go to China. People are going to America. They're going to the UK. They're going to Australia. They're going to Sweden. They're going to Norway, Denmark. Ain't nobody going to China. The only people that are going to China are North Koreans. They're the only people that are more desperate than Chinese people in that sense. They're so... People in North Korea are so desperate to get away from their political system that they will literally go to China. Think about that. They will go to China. Geez. Dieter Ski, another $5. I feel like you're I don't know what I'm gonna do with your money, dude. Like, well, I think I know what I'm gonna do with it. Going straight to the strip club. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't go to the strip club. Actually, there's not even a strip club close to me. 7 countries, warships heading to South China Sea. Let sneezing ping. Holy shit. No, Taiwan is a no-go. No one's going to allow them to take Taiwan. It's not going to happen. Like, and here's the thing. Like, is China really threatened by Taiwan? Like, come on now. Come on, let's be serious. China's threatened by Taiwan. You're the number 1 country in the world, supposedly, China. Maybe number 2, they're saying. Number 1 or number 2, whatever they claim. And they're worried about Taiwan. That's like America being like, Mexico, you're going to be my friend. And if not, we're going to go take your shit. Like, dude, nobody cares. I can't believe that China is so that taking Taiwan is such a huge thing on the list. Like it's embarrassing, Yes, too long didn't read. Bay Area got doxxed, closed his YouTube, set up his Twitter private. Prime didn't do it, but found all the info on the web. Will not expose him. Love this, by the way. That's great. Thank you. Yes, that is true. There's a video floating around on the internet of the person that exposed him, and I contacted Bay Area. He wasn't rude or disrespectful or anything. He was, to be honest, he was very nice, and so I'm going to leave it at that and be done with it. I am Chinese. I support the Communist Party of China. You fair-skinned people are even more untrustworthy, and your history is even more filthy. You see, like that's another thing that got really old when I was in China, was always listening to these people like complain about race and skin color. I hate to say it, but China is by far one of the most racist countries I've ever been to. It really is. And it's really strange because the racism there works both ways. If you're white, a lot of people think you're just awesome, and if you're a little darker, they don't like you, but now it's like getting to the point to where they're like, oh no, you're white and you're bad. So now like even being white is bad too. It's just really strange. Served your term yet? No, haven't served my term yet. Maybe one day, maybe. Let's see. Just gonna scroll down. You see, if you are so fat, the Chinese will take your job, your food. Wait to starve, sir. You will lose weight. Most of my income is passive income, so I wouldn't starve just by doing no work. Let's see. Scroll down more. Regular people in China are not allowed to use YouTube. So either you're not there or workers, are you really genuine Chinese? That is so true, right? Like this person, they continue to say, I am Chinese. I am Chinese. I am Chinese. Be like, I'm, like no one cares, man. No one cares that you're Chinese. That's the thing. Like people can tell you're Chinese anyways, just by talking in the comment section. People know because there's no other country like China with the people that act that way. Chinese people aren't aware, especially the nationalists. And when I say, when I say that, I mean like the brainwashed people. The brainwashed Chinese people don't realize that they're brainwashed, and they don't realize that they're easy to pick out in the crowd, and it's so obvious, and these people get pointed at and laughed at, and it's unfortunate, it really is, because these people don't know that they're brainwashed. What's up with Dumbrill? Is he the commie? Obviously, is he set up by these? I don't know. I don't know if he's set up by CCP or whatever. I just think that he's really self-absorbed, and that's who he is. And he had his weirdo father that's put that into his brain that everyone's racist. Prime is a criminal on the loose. These guys, along with a cult, represent anti-China. Okay, I think that's silly. He's a criminal. He's on the loose. Like I've killed a bunch of people, and the police just can't find me. They're like, where's he at? Where's he hiding at? If they wanted to come get me, they can come get me. My address is in the yellow pages. I think that the whole, oh my God, he's a criminal. It's just so old. It's old and tired, and it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work, Funny how, trying to scroll down, how many $5 donations is this anyways? And will they go through? Didn't somebody donate me like $5 like 50 times last stream and none of them went through? Is that you, Dieterski? Are you donating just to get me to read your comments and then later you take them all back? Fresh Videos has a hilarious vid showing contractors and news team thinking they found a super rare mushroom, but it was a fleshlight? What? A super rare mushroom, but it was a fleshlight? What? Okay. I'll have to add that to the history. I'll have to look. You can find many reasons to attack China, but China does not need you white saviors. If China doesn't need white saviors, why do they continue to pick a bunch of white people to go out there and say good things about them? Why does Huawei pick the Barretts, people that are very technologically low on the field? They're not engineers. They don't have any technological really degree or anything. And why do these companies continue to pick them up? Why does China, why do these farming industry places need a bunch of foreigners, white people, to come around and dance? It's hilarious to say, well, China doesn't need white people. Well, then why do they keep picking them up and putting them in commercials? I don't understand. I feel like I'm the one that's been saying this for a long time. Like, China doesn't need white people. Why do they continue to purchase these embarrassing foreigners that are uneducated in the subject, Like, you're saying it as a way of being defensive because you're upset. But my point is does China really need a bunch of white people? Why do they keep having shills then? Why do they support shills, Doesn't make much sense to me. Jerry Good is making sophomoric videos trying to be sarcastically humorous. His latest about it is supposed to be a secret Chinese nuclear research site. Really, really strange. I've talked to Jerry. Jerry is he's an interesting fellow. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's a little naive about China and what's good and what's not good. And I think he's a lot like all the other YouTubers. We all want our channels to grow, whatever, right? I think you understand what I mean and where I'm going. So, you're trying to separate the Chinese Communist Party from the Chinese people. It's impossible. Just like Hinduism and Indians, you can't separate. Well, sure you can. You think that like every person that's Indian is religious? Like, you can definitely be an Indian person and not be Hindu. And in fact, we have plenty of Indians here in America that are Christian even, so that doesn't make much sense. Just like we have plenty of Chinese people that were born in America that are of Han ethnicity that are not anything to do with the party, don't care anything about the party, don't even really speak the language of Chinese, The idea that you have to have the Communist Party and the Chinese people together are one. That's the foundation of brainwashing. As I said earlier, you can always tell the Chinese nationalists that are brainwashed because they always say the pro-CCP bullshit that everybody points and laughs at, that's just the way that it is. Making distinction between CCP and real citizen is possible and essential. Exactly. It's Stockholm syndrome. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, people, they want to reassure themselves that they are correct and that everyone else is wrong because they want to be right instead of be free at this point. They literally don't know that they have no freedom, and they would rather be right and act as if they're the winners. Prime in China comforting himself right now. No, not at all. If I was comforting myself, I would be on the couch. Let's see. Jerry Good is delusional from sheer desperation. Like so many white South African refugees in China. That's true. I think that the situation in South Africa obviously is not something that I'm very well educated in, to be honest. I don't know how bad it is there. I only know from other South African people that I know. I've heard that it sucks there. I've seen the videos. Never lived there, obviously. But from what I understand, living in China is a better idea than living in South Africa. And I think that Jerry is in that same situation, that living in China is probably better than living in South Africa. So to him, China is probably just effing amazing, right? So I just bought Golden Finance Tianjin 117 for $1. Okay. I'm going to scroll down some more. Holy shit. I have worked in financing for many years, and the banks are just one step ahead of you, and that is how they milk you because they know you're ignorant. I'm a retired investment account manager. Not really. Our rental properties are purchased completely free. Our broker actually allows us to use 35% of our capital as a down payment on rental properties, and the rest is actually financed by the bank. Banking and debt and all of that stuff is a very much a good thing if you know how to use it. You can say, "Oh, I'm a retired investment account manager." You can say whatever you want. It's that situation of there's a lot of people that even that's what I learned, is that there's a lot of people that are very well educated in finance, but still suck at it, still don't own anything, still don't have any real estate properties, still don't know how to, how to pay themselves tax-free, that still don't know how to purchase vehicles tax-free, and things like that. There are just so many things that people don't know, and they'll tell you, well, I have a degree and I'm an investment account manager and all this, but they have the worst advice, Yeah. More Chinese buying property in the Anglosphere than the other way around. Well, of course, like you can't, it's impossible to buy anything in China. You can't, you just can't own anything in China. They don't want you to own any private property. They want you to continue to rent. They want you to continue to go out to the park. They don't want you to own anything. They don't want you to have a lot of possessions. And that's what they do. That's what they choose. The government wants to own everything, and they want to allow you to use it. They want you to depend on them for it. So that's just the way that it is. Is the American Republican Party and the Deep South inseparable? Oh my gosh. The difference between the two countries is that you can speak negatively about but not the other. That is true. That is true. Exactly, Lenny. You can never buy the property in China, only a 70-year lease. That is so true. It's like, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because you want to, if you're going to own anything in your life, what should it be? It should be some kind of land or some kind of property or something, right? They won't even let you own that in China. You can't really even own that, it's insane. It's insane. It really is. It's easier to be communist in a free country than to be free in a communist country. I've heard that saying before. That is true. That is true. This guy completely missed my point. So angry. So angry. The worst advice because they give you bad advice on purpose. I guess. I think I don't think financial advisors give bad advice on purpose. I think it's just like doctors. When a patient has cancer, a doctor is going to do the best that they can. And many times the best that they can do is within their realm of what they can do, right? And what that means is the same thing for financial advisors. When you work for a certain company, they expect for you to offer products that will make the company money. Now, does that mean that the products are necessarily bad for the person? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that the products are necessarily the best for the person? No, perhaps they're not. But I think at the same time that, especially in the world of finance, 98% of people could not do better themselves. They don't. They already don't. The basic advice that even a low-level financial advisor, even if they just told you to go into the stock market and to purchase, an S&P fund, an ETF, an S&P fund, they could tell you that, right? Or they could sell you a basic mutual fund that is going to basically do the same thing and they'll profit a little. It's just you're asking if essentially everyone does the best. I think people do. I think financial advisors become financial advisors because they want to help people. I think doctors become doctors because they want to help people. But I think that it's not always that easy. It's not always that said and done. When I used to help people in post-bankruptcy, through the state, I would always tell people, hey, let's look at your accounts. Hey, let's do this, and hey, let's do that. Not everybody does what is best for them. Advising people and then getting them to do that is not easy. USA has been in recessions many times. The Wuhan 2020 and USA is still number one. Yeah, man. The thing that sucks about this recession is in America we have a lot of government people that want to continue to shut us down and continue to close our doors and not let us go anywhere or do anything. You know, and you're talking about something like COVID that kills you less than 1% of the time. You know, I get in my car and drive every single day. It's far more risky than COVID. So if China wanted the virus to spread and they wanted it to work and they wanted to influence the Western world with the virus, well, then perhaps it's working, you know. Western companies should not be involved in China. Let this be a lesson. I agree. My next video actually talks about this. Companies should not be going to China doing business. They should not be a part of China. They should not be, you know, trading technology with China. You know, Americans shouldn't be investing in China. There's just better investments around the world. You know, there's so much better. The fact that people would waste their time in China financially is beyond me. You know. Yeah, Chicago has become crappy. You know, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I have to get out of this state. Like, I have to leave Illinois. It's horrible. I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, we have to leave Illinois. The taxation situation here is just so extreme. The cost of housing is so extreme. Like, even when you look at the smaller areas, it's just outrageous. It's like, dude, 300,000 for that home? Like, it could at least be next to the beach or something, at least, you know. There's a reason why wealthy in China don't invest in the Chinese stock market. They invest in the U.S. stock market, gold market. Yeah, of course. That's because all the companies in China lie. They all cook their books. None of them offer external accounting. You know, you have external auditing companies, you know, and that they could easily be using, but they don't. They refuse to. They use these routinely obvious fake accounting things that is just any external auditor would just laugh at. You know, that's why for so long people have been using Hong Kong as a way to invest through China, but even now Hong Kong is lost. So Hong Kong, Macau, it's done. It's done. You know. I admit I was adhering to the stereotype that all small town Southern white hicks vote Republican. I think a Democrat did well in West Virginia. Be interesting to see a you know, I think that you know, a lot of people don't consider this, but in a lot of very Democratic states, there's a lot of small towns where people vote Democrat. It does happen. But definitely when you look by county of who voted Republican, yeah, of course, a lot more small towns are voting Republican. If you want to look geographically as part of land, most of the country votes Republican, and it's always the more densely populated, you know, Democratic areas that well, they're voting Democrat, right? The cities. So, yeah. Detroit is cheap, I heard. Actually, it's funny that you say that because years ago we went to Detroit. We looked at homes, you know, when all of the housing collapse was going on, and we were going to purchase some, and there was just so much garbage there. Like, yeah, you could purchase a house for $1, where you basically had to put in $80,000 in work at least, you know. You would miss Beetlegeist. What? How many times has he donated now? It's all going to go away. I think you're the guy that donated $5 like 50 times last time and it all went away. Actually, North Koreans only use China as a stepping stone to move to USA. Look at Yunmi Park's channel and the hundreds of people she has interviewed. Yes, that is true. I agree with you. There have been a lot of North Koreans that go through China and then just go into South Korea too. Bacon might be expensive in California. Bacon is pretty damn expensive everywhere. Doesn't matter where you live. Bacon is expensive, especially you get that name brand bacon, and then you have them start putting all that other unhealthy shit on there that people like me like. There's still fallout from King Gold 28 tons of gold-plated copper. Have you made a single comment without donating? How does he do that? Like, is he actually donating, or I don't know. I give up. Planned Opolis video 2040 was a short film. Okay. I think I'm going to, it's an hour and 15 minutes. I'm not going to bore you guys anymore. We have clearly talked a lot about Bay Area, a lot of everything else. The new animal law in Cali. Yeah. The funny thing, man, I always like want to go and then I see something interesting that I want to talk about. And seriously, remember me from, oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I guess I remember you. Yeah. From Springfield. Yes. Yeah, that's true. I think I did get the money. Let's see. The thing about California and raising the cost of, of them forcing how much space do they have to have for pigs now? It's like, it's increased like 20-fold or something, right? And then they're increasing it for cattle too now. So you have to have so much more space for them. I think it's insanely hilarious because, like, I'm not a farmer. Okay. I'm a city kid. I'm a city boy. I grew up in the city, but my parents are from the rural area. Not that they're farmers either, or were farmers, or have ever been farmers, but we've known farmers, damn it. We've known these people. And the amount of animals that you actually have to kill to farm corn and soybeans is like, it's fairly hilarious, actually, because you got to like cut down all these trees, so you're like killing the birds, you're like killing their habitat, and then like, all the gophers and the squirrels and the rabbits, and I'm like, you got to kill them all too. You're like, you got to kill all them, and you've killed all the birds, you've cut down all the trees, and then you got to flatten the land again, and you got to grow all this shit on it, and then all the animals want to come and eat your shit, right? So you got to poison them, right? So it's like, the amount of animals that like farming kills is like astronomically insane also. Like, I realize that we need corn and soybeans and all that stuff, and quite obviously I'm a meat eater, let's be honest. I'm from Kansas City. I love barbecue, and that's cow country. But I think it's funny that somehow you're going to save all the animals by increasing farming. Like, it's probably not going to happen that way, honestly. You're probably going to end up killing plenty of animals in the process. All new laws are anti-American, anti-human. Only 4% of pig producers comply with the new law. 4%. Wow. If that's true, that's like, it's very scary. Very scary. And to be fair, for me to like become vegan or vegetarian, I would do it if there was some damn good food out there. But I've never tried anything that was vegan or vegetarian that I thought was super amazing. Sorry, I'm just a fat guy. I like meat, There are literally thousands of fake YouTube channels created by Wu-Maos. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. You just look at the accounts that are posting comments on the shills, and it's very obvious that, like, astronomically, most of those accounts are fake. Like, when you have guys that are like, "Whale60, you're handsome," it's like, like, come on now. Like, maybe you think he's a great guy, but you're telling me he's handsome? Like, come on now. Nobody thinks Guelo60 is handsome. Maybe you like him, you like his content, but nobody thinks he's handsome. Now, come on. Not even his own wife thinks he's handsome. Let's be realistic here. 130 million farm animals were killed in Russia between 1933 and 39. I'm vegan since March 2020. Really? Yeah, but where do you live? Like, that's the thing. Like, being vegan for me would, like, vegan pizza. I mean, like, I don't know, like, I just couldn't see it happening. I just couldn't see it. I'm sorry. Maybe if I moved out to California and became really vegetarian liberal, then maybe. So I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you to Dong Sheng Di, Lenny Frost, Mr. Truth Seeker here that I've seen talking a lot, and all the other people that have been talking to me for the last hour and 21 minutes. Like I said, I don't want to do a 3-hour stream. I don't want to approach Jayo Nation level status of long videos. To put things back into perspective here of the video, Bay Area was exposed. People posted his information private on the internet. Wasn't me. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks you to everyone that donated. I will take your money and I don't know, maybe I'll buy a new microphone or something so that the audio is a little better. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day, people.